Hi guys, so I'm going to show you vegetable carving today, okay? So I'm going to carve a watermelon. Now let's be honest, not many people, whether on my channel or YouTube itself, are looking to do vegetable carving, so why should something like that I should promote or, put time into? The only reason I do it because I know it and I like to pass it on. So it's a knowledge which, maybe 1 in 100,000 people probably will help it out. So that's the only reason I can think of. And a couple of my friends who are really interested in it, they have asked me to put this sort of video as well. So why not? Sometimes to do something different, it's quite good. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a watermelon. The reason I'm using a watermelon is the outer covering of the watermelon it's easy enough to carve. It's not as hard, If I use a pumpkin or a butternut squash, all these sort of vegetables, they're quite hard and rigid. At a later on stage, you can always try it, but at this moment, I'll like to start with watermelon. Plus, the effect the watermelon gives if you're carving a floral or a sort of theme, the red inside, the white outside, it just gives it this perfect sort of look, We're going to be using a very simple carving, and the reason I say it's simple is it's a matter of drawing your idea on the watermelon by holding a knife. The knife you're going to be using is going to be a paring knife, which I will show it to you while I'm doing the video. And also, if you are when you draw the idea on the watermelon, all you have to do is make a two-dimensional look three-dimensional. Okay, so that's the whole idea behind the vegetable carving. You can use it to put it on your buffets or decorations and stuff like that. So it can come handy. You're calling your friends over and you're doing barbecues or parties and outdoors. So something a little bit different. We're really going to impress. Okay. Also, when you're practicing, you don't really have to get a watermelon straight away and practice a theme. You can always practice something small on a potato, okay, or on an apple, just to try out your knife skills, okay, and that's going to be the key. So here's the video, have a look and see how you get on.
So as you can see, I've peeled the watermelon already. So the watermelon, the top part of that is peeled. So it's one-sided sort of design. So we're only going to use the side where you have seen there's no skin on it. So I used a little cutter, okay, and I'm using this paring knife. Okay, you can see this knife. Okay, I'm using a paring knife. It's a little bit of bendy sort of knife, and that is essential for carving. Okay, that's what you definitely need. That without that, you won't be able to. So I'm just following those marks which the cutter made. Just make a nice big circle right in the middle. So as you can see, it's just the marks which I had, although because of the shape of the exact marking all around, but it gives a little bit of guidance where I can run my knife through it. So as you can see, I have just a nice sort of circle there. Okay, now I'm going to start carving just over the edge of that into, say, half moons. Okay, now you'll see it when where I'm starting and finishing. I'm not really cutting all the way, because if I do, that will actually just fall apart. It will just come out of the watermelon. So I'm just leaving a little tiny, maybe a 1 millimeter gap, and just carving from there. Okay, so now that as soon as that finishes, I'm going to, underneath part of that, I'm just gonna put the knife through, and you're going to just pull that thing out. And that's what as I said it in the intro, you're making a two-dimensional thing look like a three-dimensional. Okay, and that's the only way to do it. Either you take the stuff out which you have designed, or you take the surroundings out and it makes it visible. So as you can clearly see, when I pulled that part out, it made the other part look much more visible. Okay, so what we do now is the next job is that we're gonna take out the right middle part of that. We're gonna level it out. Okay, so at the moment it's too much out to make it look a realistic sort of floral design. So because flower grows from inside out, so we need to give a as close replication as we can. So as you see, using the same knife, I'm just going around and taking out the surface of that, and then I'm following the same idea. Okay, so I'm just using the half moons again, but at this time I'm starting in the middle of the bigger half moons which I created earlier. So I'm just following the same pattern, just making sure that they don't fall right above each other, then it won't look as realistic. And just right finishing up there, and just exactly following the same process, I'm going to just pull the surroundings out, and that will make the cuts, the half moons which I made, look more visible. And when that vibrant red comes out of the watermelon, it just makes the job worth doing. I'm just again going to do exactly the same thing what we did. It's very important to see the steps, so I'm going to just go through the sides and creating half moons and keep going in the same way all around, making sure you don't run the knife over anything else. And there we go, we have another layer at the center. Okay, now we are right at the center of the watermelon, which is nice and red and vibrant. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to carve out the middle part once again in the same half moons. So that will do very sort of natural look. I'm going to just take out all the middle bits. Now we are right in the middle of the watermelon now, or the flower which we are kind of creating. So really not much we can do, but we just gonna carve a little bits out in there so it looks like the flower actually grown from inside. Okay, so we're just going to kind of give another incision there, and I'm pretty much happy with that. Now moving on from there, I'm gonna give it a shape just like that, as you can see. Okay, and just go all around. Okay, it's now more of a wavy sort of shape, and it's what I'm trying to do is draw a petal shape. Okay, a petal of a flower. Now you can carry on and you can do half moons as well outside. You can try it out, or you can do perfect triangles. It's totally up to you. The idea remains the same. We're drawing with a pen on a paper, but here we're drawing with a knife on a watermelon. So once we draw all around. Okay, you can see it more closely there. We draw it all around. And right in the middle, I'm just taking a sort of incision out, and that is the center of the petal. And we look at doing the last one there. And it's a little bit different now this time. We're going to take out the middle bit first between the two petals before we clearing out all the sides. Okay, so we take out the middle bit. You'll get to see that very quickly. So it's whatever the body is between the two petals, we're just pulling that out. Now seems to be going okay. Make sure the knife is sharp, it's very important, so it gives a clean cut on the watermelon. Okay, you're almost done there. Okay, now what I'm doing is just the outside of it, just leveling out the watermelon now. So I have just used the same knife to go all around the sides and just nearly peel the stuff out. You can use a peeler, but I prefer the knife. Now we're going to do same the way we did creating the petals. Okay, gotta be careful with your knife, because what it can do it can pull the other petals which you have done, they can pull it out. So just following the same procedure, repeating. Now what you can do, as you go bigger and bigger, you make the petals touch bigger, so it looks like a natural way the flower grows. The inside will be smaller, and as it moves out, it will be much more bigger. Okay, we're using the same idea all the way through. Okay, we're just coming to the end there now. The last petal, we're just gonna cut it out. Okay, and again the same way, we're going to pull the middle bit of that between the two petals. Okay, and just keep following that way till you have done the whole lot, and once again clear the sides out. Okay, so now we have done that, and I have done another sort of petal row around that. So we have 3. I mean, it's important that you work with in the odd numbers to give it a natural look. Okay, let's clean down our board just to have a quick look at it, and look at that, the way it's been done, nice and clean. And it's just, you just put it on a cake stand between your buffet for your barbecues or any sort of present, if any sort of parties you have at home. Guests will absolutely love it. Hopefully you enjoy that. Thank you.